Good evening. It's been that kind of day, that kind of 24 hours, actually. That's my loud ring. Plugged in my phone. All right, y'all, tell me if you can hear me. Hello, godmother. Hey, Mr. Fred, how are you? Oh, you all may be snowed in, huh? Oh, there goes my first realtor. How are you, young man? I see you and the missus are living your best life. Good for you. Tired. I'm tired. So let's see. What can I tell you? First, I had to delete yesterday's message completely because it was buffering so bad. So, of course, I ran upstairs to call my provider, my Wi-Fi provider, about what happened. And so apparently, because they gave us an upgrade, so they gave us a minor upgrade in our home. Hey, Vogel. But they have to upgrade the entire city. And so essentially what that means is that while I'm doing my vlogs, no one in my house can be on any Wi-Fi because that will cause all the stuff that you saw yesterday. And I'm pretty sure that everybody was on some kind of electronic device yesterday. So that's what happened. So I had to delete everything and said, well, you guys didn't deserve that. So I'm going to give you something else today. So thank you for rocking with me a second day. Get a bonus vlog. For those of you that tuned in yesterday. Same shirt, same hair. I'm exhausted. I don't know if I told you guys this yesterday, but I had to take two of the babies to the pediatrician yesterday. One had knee pain and one had stomach pain. Come to find out that the baby who had the knee pain now needs physical therapy because apparently he has some form of tendonitis. He's not in any organized sports. He didn't fall, he didn't hurt himself, but he needs physical therapy and he needs a brace. Yeah. So we have to take care of that. He has to get assessed, I think, on Friday. And so I thought all was well and that everybody would be at school today. But the daughter's stomach was worse. Turns out that she has an extreme case of constipation. And so we are trying to work through that right now. Hey, LS. So hopefully there has been no movement, if you know what I mean. And we've been giving her a lot of stuff. So hopefully she will get some traction soon. Because if not, I got to take her back because we had her in ER today. So I've been running around all day. I've been in doctors for 2 days. But today I was in the doctor's office for about emergency room and then x-ray and then to get the prescription, make sure she has a prescription. So I've literally been running around since I got up this morning and I'm exhausted. So, but whatever, that's what you do when you're somebody's mama, times 3 cubed. So I wanted to tell you, so if you recall yesterday, I was in a quandary, perplexed, if you will, because I was talking about getting the baby a cell phone, right? And what my struggles were about that, because of course he's 9 and I had a really hard stance on when to give him the phone, right? But what I didn't tell you is how he got the phone in the first place. So, hey, Nino, hey, Jerry, hey, Vogel. Okay, I'm gonna try your advice. Right now we're doing Miralax, I think is what we're doing, Miralax and Gatorade. So she's gonna be holding on for dear life in like an hour. And I'm such a bad parent because it's funny to me. She doesn't know what's about to hit her. She's gonna be sweating, and I'm gonna be dying because as a parent, I got to get something. I got to get something out of it. So I want you to know, before I begin this story, I'm going to tell you that I have permission to tell this story. Hey, Lynn. I have permission to tell this story. I asked Big Son if I could absolutely tell this story, and he said that I could. So before y'all start saying that I'm embarrassing my my kids, and that I'm an evil parent, first of all, you know that I will block you. One word, 2 syllables. You know I'll do that. But I thought you'd like to know what happened and how we're in this situation in the first place. So, as most of you know, Big Son has had, a couple of challenges. And he is the child. So, anyone who has multiple children, you know that each child is different. No matter how, both parents in the house, they see things differently. Some of it has to do with birth order. Some of it has to do with who they are as people. It's just a variety of things. It really is true. You're all cut from the same cloth, but you don't come out with the same design. And none of us in general have instruction manuals, right? So this particular child, Big Son, has always been the child that it's better. You could tell him all day long, but it's better to show him, right? He's from Missouri. He's from the Show Me State. You could show him better than you could tell him. He has to learn the hard way, right? So Big Son got in trouble. Most of you know, because you've been rocking with me long enough, almost 2 years now, you know that Big Son runs his mouth like Houdini, the remix. He's got a big mouth, big mouth, big mouth, big mouth, big mouth, big mouth. He has one of those. He has a big mouth. Mouth almighty, just a big mouth. And so, he talks a lot of trash, but that behind can't cash that check. Just can't do it. So, and he's little and he can't fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a thug. He thinks he's a thug. I told y'all I'm raising suburban kids in the hood. He's not a thug. He's never had to hunt for nothing. He's never had to fight for anything. He's never really been poor before. He's never had, the lights cut off or no heat, or he's never seen government cheese, not government. He's never seen any of that. Okay. Like your girl. He's never had to, shop at Goodwill, and never had to do any of that. Like your girl. Never had to do any of that. So he runs his mouth though and thinks that he's tough. He thinks he's a tough guy. He's like this big. He's Prince height. And he can't fight. Okay? Can't fight. And you all know, because of what happened in the summer, you know that he's scary. He's a scary child. He's scared of the dark. He's scared of animals. He's scared of anything moves quick. He's a scary child. Okay? Now, in time, I know that all of that will change, but it's funny because he's the oldest, right? And everybody else looks at him like, why are you? Look, I was born in, I'm an 80s kid. I was a teenager. He's bugging all the time. He's always bugging. Like, what's wrong with you? Always got to have the attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. But he runs his mouth. And what we find is that he's particularly mouthy with women that he thinks, because he's kind of chauvinistic. So he thinks that he can kind of run his mouth and get over. So if he thinks that he can get over, it's like blood to a shark. If he can smell that, it's a wrap. And he thinks he knows everything. On top of that, on top of not being able to fight, on top of being scary. So he has this false sense of bravado that the husband and I don't understand. Okay? So that's the stage I'm going to set up for you. He gets in trouble with one of his teachers for running his mouth. Dun, 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 dun. Right? Running his mouth. Over something stupid. A tic-tac. If I can be honest, a tic-tac. And he tries to get smart and argue down the teacher. Tries to argue with her. What I tell the children all the time is that in that classroom, the person in charge is the teacher. Therefore, it's her rules. His or her rules, you abide by those rules, period. If something happens where you feel like you've been treated unjust or unfair, that's what we're here for. Come holler at your parents. Your parents will communicate with the other adults. It is not up to you to do. Okay, not up to you. But he was feeling froggy. Right? Wanted to jump, feeling froggy. put the Tic Tac in the mouth, wasn't supposed to have the Tic Tac, had the nerve to quote the handbook about what stuff he could put in his mouth. So it wasn't the fact that it was the Tic Tac, it was the fact that he was disrespectful in class. Okay? Now, a week before, the big son was running his mouth again over something just as stupid, just as dumb. And he got detention for it. So in his school, new school, remember, because what we realized, the husband and I realized that he needs something a little bit more rigid, right? Needs something with a little bit more structure, because when he has a lot of freedom, he doesn't know what to do with that freedom. And so we made the decision that he needs more structure because it's the only way he's going to thrive. So we pulled him out of his old school, which was a creative arts school. I'm not putting him on blast. Be quiet. I told you I got permission. Be quiet or I'm going to block you. 1 word, 2 syllables, block. So he gets on detention the week before, gets on detention. And what I said to him is, listen, I'm not going to change my life for you because of over some nonsense. So you get detention again, because it's only an hour, but it's an hour I could be doing something else. You get detention again, you're going to find your own way home. Okay? Find your own way home. And so, that was it. I don't say nothing else. Find your own way home. Make sure you know how to get home, because I'm not coming to get you. The bus, walking, I don't care what it is. So when he got in trouble that week, I took the phone and gave it to his little brother. When you can act like you got some sense, you can get your phone back. Until then, your little brother gets the phone. Give the phone to the baby. Baby was like, oh, thank you. Oh. And that's how all that started. Okay? So he didn't have his phone for like a week. What happens? The Tic Tac situation happens. Tic Tac-gate happens. And so I say, he got detention, right? So I was like, all right, well, I get home, right? Because you got to do detention. And my issue, just so that we're all clear, it's not that, some of it is that you got detention, but for me, as his mom, I don't like to be surprised. That's the one thing I tell my kids. Don't have me walk into some ish and I don't know anything about it. Don't set me up. Don't do it. You better tell me before they do. Because if they tell me first, I'm going to think that you're hiding something, right? You're withholding information, okay? So don't let me find out. Hey there, Melissa. Don't let me find out from them. You better tell me first. So, of course, doesn't quite tell me the whole story. What happens is that all 3 of his teachers in that subject call me and was like, okay, so we want to talk about Big Son and what happened in class today, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm nobody's punk. I was like, okay, cool. Because, they're coming for me. They're coming for me. So I hit the speaker so Big Son can hear. And if there's some discrepancy, he can defend himself. Because I'm a G, right? I'm that parent. So I was like, okay, got Big Son with me, hit the speakerphone. Tell me everything that happens. So they tell me what happens. Tells me what he said. Tell me how disrespectful he was, which is a big no-no in our house. I told y'all we believe in corporal punishment, but he's a little too old for that now, right? We believe in corporal punishment. We do. I don't care what you say about it. It's controversial, but it's not illegal. Okay? There's only 2 reasons in my house that you might get knocked out. Being disrespectful and lying. That's it. If you never do any of those things, you'll never do this. In your head, when your mama does that, that'll never happen. Okay? So, but he's older now. So we have to come up with other weapons of mass destruction. We have to come up with some other things in our disciplinary arsenal. Okay? So she tells me a story and I'm looking at him. I'm gritting on him. I'm looking at him like this because he's sitting across from me. Oh, okay. So is any of this inaccurate? Well, no, it's not. Oh, okay. And that's the other thing. When he's wrong, barely audible. You can now he was loud earlier. Now, when I'm confronting you, he's Mr. Mumbles. Okay? So I let them talk, give him the opportunity to defend himself. He cannot defend himself. So I don't even get mad. I was like, okay. So he will serve detention as we discussed. And that's that. Hang up the phone. I look at him. I don't even miss a beat. All I say to him is, you know how to get home tomorrow, right? This is what he said. Yeah, I know how to get home. Oh, okay. All right, cool. So we good, because you know I'm not picking you up. Not picking you up. You know I get home. All right, cool. I go back to doing what I'm doing, minding my business, because it's my house, right? There's nothing else for me to talk about. I'm not coming to get you, right? This is how I know who my child is. So, he was bucking, froggy. he was feeling froggy, wanted to jump. I'm going to tell you exactly where I was. I was at Party City, little place, because I had to buy decorations for something. Party City, that's where I was. Gets out of school at 3:30. I get a phone call at 3:34 from the disciplinary dean at the school, who says the following. Hi, Mrs. Goodman. This is Dean such and such. Hey, Dean such and such. How are you? I'm good. Big son doesn't have detention today. See, I already know. He's trying to talk, trying to maneuver. I said, oh no, he absolutely has detention today. She said, well, it was over a Tic Tac and that our policy says that they can have mints. I said, Dean such and such, I am perfectly aware of that. All 3 teachers plus the principal called me yesterday and informed me of what happened. So it wasn't just about the Tic Tac. It was about how he behaved with said Tic Tac. So the only reason that my son is having you call me is because I told him he has to find his own way home today. So please tell my child that I'll see him when he gets home. Click. That's what I did. Now, I told y'all, remember over the summer, how he saw a little bunny rabbit and the little backfire in the car? Remember that? Okay. Y'all know it's wintertime. Well, it's about to be wintertime in about 2 weeks. It gets dark early. I live in the Midwest. It's cold. So detention is an hour. School lets out at 3:30. Detention starts at 3:45. Gets out at 4:45. It's dark at 4:45. Told you, he's little dude. Little dude. Can't fight. Runs his mouth, though. Runs his mouth. Runs his mouth. Okay. So, he's scared. Remember, he told me how to get home. Now, I already figured out the bus route. Now, remember, he took the bus over the summer. Y'all remember that because I told you that my car does not go to summer school. Remember I told you that? So, he's familiar with the bus, familiar with the transit system. So, I looked it up. If he had taken the bus he was supposed to take, he would have been home in 30 minutes. He would have been home at 5:15, 5:20. If he walked, he would have been home in 45 minutes, 5:30. Remember, gets out at 4:45, bus comes, he'll be home about 5:15, 5:30. He has no phone. Remember that, has no phone, has no money. The school, because it's a public school, gives you bus passes so that he could get on a bus, any bus, for free. Any bus, okay? No phone, no money, all right? Dark, scary, mouth almighty. I'm expecting Big Son to come home at 5:20. I'll even give him 5:30. 6 o'clock, no Big Son. 6:15, no Big Son. 6:30, no Big Son. 6:45, no Big Son. So at this point, he should have been home, right? 6:45, he should have been home 5:15. He should have been home an hour and a half ago, not home. Now, as a parent, I was his age once. I know it's hard for some of y'all to believe, but I was 16 and a half once, right? We didn't have cell phones, didn't have money, really, right? But you got around, got on the bus, you know how to get home, right? No cell phones, no nothing. It starts to hit me at 6:30 that I have no way to track him. Forget that he don't have a way to track me. I don't have a way to track him. So by like 6:45, I start texting the husband who is working. And I was like, he's not home yet. So then it hits me, oh boy, got lost. He got lost, right? And now I turn and I was a G. at 5:30. But at 6:45, I'm mama bear. And I am literally like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Literally, I am on my knees with my hands outstretched to Jesus. Please, Lord, bring my baby home. Bring him home, Lord. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that I was like, oh, Lord. I'm telling you, that's what I was. Okay. 6:45. 7 o'clock. Still not home. And now I'm pacing, shaking. Please, Lord, just bring my baby back. I never do this again. Never. Okay, 7 o'clock. 10 past 7. Rings the bell. It's him. We have the Ring app. So, I dry my face because now I'm a G again. Because I can't let him know that I was scared. Can't let him know that. So, dry my face, get myself together, right? Unlock the door. Now I'm back to being hood, right? Open the door. I didn't even let him in. What time was you supposed to be home? That's the look I give. Now remember, just 15 minutes ago, I was like, why not? What time was you supposed to be home? The look on his face, when I tell you he was shook, this is the look he gave me when he walked in. Like he's seen 18 ghosts. This is what he said. Voice all quivering. I had to take a couple of buses. So now I'm like, okay, I got him. There's a lesson. Okay, we're good. Everybody's good. Open the door, let him in. Sit down. I say, what happened? He said, I got on the bus and I took the gold line. The gold line? Where were you? I was in Shorewood. Shorewood? Okay. Now let me put that in perspective. Those of you that live here know that we live on the north side. You know where Shorewood is. He was over by Capitol, Palmer, Performance Running, in that area by Oakland. That's where he was. For those of you that live in Boston, then you know it would be equivalent to us living in Dorchester and him being in Milton. Okay. For those of you that lived in the Jersey, Philadelphia area, it would be like us living in Camden and him being in Cherry Hill. Okay. So everybody knows where everybody is. He's lost like a mother. So how you get to Sherwood? I took the gold bus. Why would you take the gold bus? Cause that was the bus. Now I know my son. He got on the first bus he saw. You know why? Because it was dark and it was cold, 32 degrees. Had no phone, had no money. Just got on any bus. Didn't want to say that he was lost. Waited literally to the end of the route, which is Shorewood, and then didn't know where the hell he was. So I said, well, then what happened? Well, I had to get off the bus because the bus driver couldn't take me back. So he gave me a transfer, and then I had to wait for another bus at Parker on Palmer, and then that bus took a while, and then I had to go back, and then I took another bus that took me down by Detonia, and I got off at Center, and then, which is where summer school bus stop was, and then I had to walk from there. So it took my son 2.5 hours to get home. 2.5. So I'm looking at him, and he is scared to death. And so I say, because I got to be a parent, no matter how, I still got to be a parent. I still got to do the 1-2. I still got to do the uppercut. I still have to, right? So I said, okay, son, I asked you yesterday if you knew how to get home, and you told me yes. What happened? I didn't know how to get home. Because you thought that you could talk old girl, the dean, to call me and thought that would be enough for me to come get you. You weren't really paying attention, so you thought you could get over. I said, well, let me say this. I'm glad you're home safe. But I keep telling you, when you do the things that you do, people don't want to help you. When you run your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're nasty to people and you're disrespectful, no one wants to help you. And this world can be a dark, cold, and lonely place when you're in it by yourself. You okay? So at this point, he starts shaking. And I say, you want a hug? He comes over and gives me a bear hug. Mama, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was cold. I didn't think I was ever going to come home. I didn't think I was going to come home. I want to take a shower. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I said, go take a shower. So he took a shower, called the husband, told him that he's home safe. And he came back down. And so I said, big son, how do you get home, son? How do you get home? These are the buses you should have taken. If you had walked, you'd have been home in 40 minutes. Here comes the uppercut. I say, I just want you to know that I love you. I'm always here to support you. But if you get detention again, I'm still not coming to get you. You're still going to have to find your own way home. Baby, when I tell you that we ain't had no detention problems ever since, when I tell you that he may have actually broke his Christmas curse, because y'all know he always gets in trouble during Christmas time, Christmas and his birthday, he always gets in trouble. When I tell you that he has a 3.4 GPA, won't God do it in this place? Won't he do it? I wish I had an organ. Won't he do it? Won't he do? When I tell you he is a model child, he comes home every day, shows his homework, shows everything that he's done. Not to me, his daddy, because I'm done. I did what I was supposed to do. I done dropped the mic. I ain't got nothing else to do. I ain't got nothing else to get. Nothing. I got nothing. We ain't had no problems since. We don't have no detention issues. We don't have no problems with his work. We don't have any problems trying to check homework. Won't he do it? Will he won't? Won't he do it? But this is the kid that you have to show. The only way he's going to learn is if you show him point blank, this is what could happen when I'm not here. This is what happens when you're not supported. This is what happens when you make dumb decisions. And told him that phone is a privilege. The job, privilege. We don't have to do this stuff for you. We do it because we want to do it. When I was your age, I didn't have any of that. It's a privilege, son. You better remember that. I don't have to do any of this for you. And the older you get, the less I have to do, the less I have to give. But know that I want to give these things to you. I wouldn't have bought you the phone if I didn't want you to have it. Wouldn't have. Wouldn't pick you up every day if I didn't want to. I don't have to do any of that. You can get on the bus like everybody else. So I hope you learned your lesson. Ciao. Baby. Won't he do it? Know this? If he didn't learn, I don't know what I was going to do. Because for real, I was shook. For real, I was. I don't know what I was going to do. I'm sorry. I have no idea. So that is how the baby got the phone. That is why we are in this perplexity, if you will, of whether or not to give the baby the phone, because we wouldn't have been in this scenario had Big Son did what he was supposed to do. But because he didn't, here we are. Now, I will say this. I will keep you posted. Grades come out in about 2 to 3 weeks. He's somewhere around a 3.3, 3.4. He might break his curse. He has been with us 8 years exactly. So we've literally had him half his life. And we're hoping that old boy has turned a corner. So pray for me as I pray for you. Hope this was worth it. And I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for rocking with me. I always appreciate it. agoodwomansvoice.com. Please remember, love you guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Monday with better Wi-Fi. All right. Well, got